I have a couple of readings today on love since it is Valentine's Day, but it's not going to be about mushy love. Um, and then we'll have a short time of meditation before Jackson takes us into the invocation. From Ernest Holmes. Love is the central flame of the universe, nay, the very fire itself. And from Pierre Teilhard de Chardin. Someday, after we have mastered the winds and waves, the tides and gravity, we shall harness the energies of love. Then, for the second time in the history of the world, we will have discovered fire.
Spirit unfolds me, tenderly holds me. Spirit and I are one, walking together now and forever. Spirit and I are one. I am the light and I am the source. I live in integrity. I am the love and love is the way. Spirit unfolds through me.
And in this moment, I recognize the wholeness of spirit, energized by love, surrounded by peace, and and showing itself, manifesting as wisdom in each of us. I know we have come here on our single paths. Every week we come on our single paths and we merge for this time so that we can learn from each other, gain hope from each other, give to each other, and be the community that we love. I know that this community is thriving and will continue to thrive, that each person who comes here receives exactly what he or she needs in that moment, and that all of us experience the greatness of our meant to be journey. Blessings on all. And so it is. So it is.
Spirit unfolds me, tenderly holds me. Spirit and I are one, walking together now and forever. Spirit and I are one.
Thank you, Jackson and Claudia. That was an excellent way to start out our morning. So, being Valentine's Day, and happy Valentine's Day, by the way, everybody, I thought we would talk about the path of love. And I found this picture, isn't that beautiful, of the forest with the heart scratched in the path? You know, the path of love is a really interesting one. And I believe that, as Deepak Chopra says, the path to love is our spiritual destiny. This is what we're all about. And we know this in some way We know this because even as little children, we want to love. We want to, our parents love, we want our friends love, we want our pets love, whatever it is, but we want to express love, and that never ends. All through our life, we want to express love. And so we're taking it today to a deeper place where we understand that love really isn't about that kind of love that I was just speaking of, that love that we get from others. It's about definitely our spiritual destiny. So I wanted to read to you something first. Let me move this back here. I found this morning on Facebook Dr. Carol Carnes, who is part of a large part of us, you know, CSL, and she's also part of the global. Oh darn, I can't remember the name, but anyway, she's been with a group of ministers to meet the Dalai Lama and you know, experience all kinds of things other than our teaching in the interfaith community. And she wrote something that I thought was perfect. She says, "What could love do for you today? Perhaps a release of old pain and resentments? Could it restore your faith in humanity? How about self-respect and a change of habits? If you desperately want to stop abusive drinking or smoking, would love be a factor in your decision to seek help? What kind of love are we speaking about here? Love in its true power is not about romance. That is the least of it. It is an energy that restores wholeness where there appears to be brokenness. Love seems to cause us pain when it's withdrawn by another. Yet it remains within us, available to us whether we are alone or in a relationship. Love is not something that's given to us. It is generated from within our own soul. Self-love is the starting point, the first use of love. From there, it extends out into the world, attracting and affecting a response. When we see it as the most powerful energy in the universe, we might have more respect for what we can generate. Ernest Holmes called love a cohesive energy that brings things together that belong together and maintains them in harmony as long as love is active and present. We all know what happens to friendship, romance, business, anything really when love is withdrawn. Those things tend to unravel and fall apart. Love must be present to maintain harmony in every situation. So my first idea for us then, and I had written these before I found that, but if we're going to walk the path of love, we have to start walking with self-love. And in Living the Science of Mind, Dr. Holmes writes, God speaks to the hearts through the language of feeling, a feeling which is affirmative. And it made me start thinking about, yeah, I understand this, that that language that is affirmative is so powerful. And yet, even as I was going about my week this week, I was surprised at how many times my inner language was not affirmative. I mean, one thing that's bothered me lately is, you know, what we laughingly call the COVID-19, you know, those extra pounds that we've gained over the past year of sheltering in place. You know, and I don't normally have a roll around my waist, you know, and suddenly, no matter what I put on, there appears this roll. And so my negative thinking has been really out there, you know, quite prevalent every time I get dressed. And it's not, I'm not speaking to myself in the affirmative, in that feeling language of love. So self-love is the place that we have to start. I know that some of us believe that we have certain quirks or habits and, you know, well, that's just the way we are. And yet we think about those quirks or habits negatively. And so we want to move. If we're going to walk this path of love, which, by the way, is not necessarily an easy one. In fact, it seems to me that as we walk the path of love in a spiritual sense, there's tests, even though I don't believe in tests. But there's obstacles, things that, rocks to trip over, or bushes in the way, or a tree falls over in the path. There's a lot of stuff that happens. It's not just a peaceful, easy path to walk along. But it's possible to make it that way. God speaks to the heart through the language of feeling, a feeling which is affirmative. So, and I just mentioned this a minute ago, but I found this little picture. It says the path of love has many opponents: fear, self pity, anxiety, hate, lust, greed, avarice, all the usual friends, I guess that's supposed to say. I just realized it's misspelled. Could be all the usual fiends. But this idea of the opponents of the path of love, all these things that he lists are really seeded by fear. Fear is the biggest opponent of the path of love. I know that all of us have this deep inner knowing that we could be more than we are now. Even if we really like what we are now, we could still be more. And there's an urge within us that happens. And I know that this is a spiritual urge, especially if we've said, okay, I'm ready to walk this path of love. The universe goes, really? Yay. And puts all kinds of things in front of us so that we will get to experience that path of love. But fear stops us. I know that when I first realized that I could help people heal through the power of spiritual mind treatment, there was something in me that got, I became afraid. And it was sort of like that Messiah complex that is talked about. That thing, wow, if I really let myself have the power through me, if I let this power really work, then I'm going to be persecuted somehow, some way. And that's fear, right? Fear just seems to be, well, the Course in Miracles says there's only two states of mind. There's either fear or love. And I know that the more we walk the path of love, the less we are afraid. So my second idea here was, once we're on this path of love, we cannot judge ourselves or others. Don't judge yourself or others. Love, just love. In the Science of Mind glossary, Dr. Holmes says, love is the self-givingness of the spirit through the desire of life to express itself in terms of creation. Love tells us, Emerson tells us that love is a synonym for God. We're also told in the New Testament, they that loveth not knoweth not God, for God is love. And then, as Claudia read this morning, love is free from condemnation, even as it is free from fear. Love is a cosmic force whose sweep is irresistible. Every time I read that phrase, love is a cosmic force whose sweep is irresistible, I see a picture of a wave in my mind. It's like this cosmic wave just comes up and just covers us. And if we're fearful, then we get in that undertow. Do you remember as a child being in the ocean and getting dragged out a bit because of the undertow? That my little sister always thought my mother was talking undertowed. And she said, I didn't see any toad, But that idea of just letting that love just sweep over us and, bring us up to the shore and take us back out into the ocean and bring us up to the shore and take us back out into the ocean. That sweep of love is irresistible. Absolutely. And I think it's, I love my mental picture of it because I love swimming in the ocean. Not here because it's cold, but I did it almost every day in Hawaii. Or uh, actually, Kalian is here today. Uh, she was a practitioner with us in Hawaii, and she'll remember this. We used to meet either once or twice a week down at a place called the Hot Ponds, which are gone now, darn it, because of the volcano. But we would bobble around in the water and do treatment together for each other and for our spiritual community. And that being in the water seemed to really energize us, and it was a wonderful experience. Water also is a symbol of feelings. If anybody's looked at Jung, Carl Jung, and psychologically, when you have a dream about water, it's something about feelings. But I like the idea of water as spirit because, you can't live without water. You can't live without air either. So spirit could be the water and the air. I think what I'm saying is don't allow yourself to judge yourself for anything at all. And when you find yourself judging others, right now, choose to make your mind or to allow a part of your mind to be your witness. So that when you're judging others, it brings you back into that place of love. And remember, I always say gently, easily, and humorously, right? We want to do it. We want to do this in a way that is more comfortable than it has been in the past. So walking that path of love, you have to stay out of judgment. This Jimi Hendrix line is just wonderful. When the power of love overcomes the love of power, the world will know peace. And there's a place in here in the Living the Science of Mind where he also says, love is the victor in every case. Love breaks down the iron bars of thought, shatters the walls of material belief, severs the chain of bondage which thought has imposed, and sets the captive free. Love dissolves all fear. With things in the world the way they are, it seems that the idea of power is more important than love. Power is more important than other people's well-being. And I really have a different sense of this phrase now, because I do believe that when we believe more in the power of love, the world will know peace. As long as country versus country or political party versus political party or neighbor versus neighbor, etc., is happening, that's the love of power. And that does not create peace at all. And so when we're looking at this bigger picture, we might think, well, how could I do anything about that? Well, what I know is that the truth is that absolutely everything here is consciousness. We're thick thought. These bodies are thick thought. The chair that you're sitting in is thick thought. Everything is this energy that is the divine that's slowed down to a point where it appears to be solid. So for me, knowing that everything is energy and everything is consciousness, then how do I help the world? I pay attention to what I'm putting out there. Because when I'm thinking, when I'm feeling resentful, when I'm feeling hostile, when I'm feeling hatred or judgment, that energy is flowing out. And you have no idea how far it goes, or who it affects, or how it touches people. You do know, though, on a smaller level, because I know that each one of you has walked into a room and felt when somebody was arguing. Or you've walked up to some people and you've felt that they were talking about you. You just know. And it's because of that energy, the energy that we all are. So the people that have a love of power, they're trying to get all the energy. And it shows up in the material world by who's got the most barrels of oil, for instance. So we really want to move into that recognition that the power of love overcomes all things. You might have heard me say many times that love is the greatest healing agent in our universe. Love heals illness, it heals homelessness, it heals diversity in any sort of arena. And my job then, our job, knowing this teaching, is to be the promoters of love, to be love in action. And as we continually do this, they'll get to a point where there's enough of us doing it that the world will flip, the energy will flip, and the world will know peace. I know that this is true. And I also know that, and have known for a long time, that this is going to happen in my lifetime. So it's going to happen in yours as well. So we might as well be in part of the vanguard of this band of spiritual, I don't want to say warriors because I don't like the word warriors. It denotes war. But these spiritual promoters, or whatever it is, these ones that know that consciousness rules, and the consciousness that we want to rule is the consciousness of love. So here's a meditation for self-help that was in the back of the Science of Mind that I thought perhaps you could read with me. This is a beautiful one. I was looking for something else, and my book kept opening up to it, so I thought, all right, I'll do it. So let's just, I'll read it, and you guys read it along with me. But let's do this with this idea that we're moving along this path of love. My love goes out to everyone in the world. I do not exclude anything, for I love all nature and everything that is. My love warms and lightens everything that it touches, and it goes out into all the places. The love flowing through me is a power to all who come into contact with it, and all feel and know that I love. Love within me is complete and perfect. Love within me is complete. And so take a breath and let this little meditation just sink down into the very depths of your being so that you embody it. Love within me is complete. I love this picture. It's so pretty, being a garden person. The path of love and the path of insight lead to the same garden. So I'm knowing that when you join us on Sunday mornings, that you derive your own insights about your life and how you're living it. And the insight that you might have gotten this morning is about this path of love. And so if you're willing, allow yourself to just make a commitment right now to the universe. I'm willing to walk the path of love. And let me tell you that if things get a little crazy this week after you've made this commitment, it's okay. It just means this too needs to be healed. This too needs to be loved. And so let yourself be the lover. I always feel that that's what God is the lover. God just loves with no conditions whatsoever. It loves us totally. This energy is the energy of love. And so we might as well join it and be lovers of our own being and lovers of everyone else. So let's say this affirmation today and then we'll go into treatment. Thank you, Susan, for writing the February affirmations. Today I am open to being the best me I can be. I am filled with love, peace, and a divine appreciation for all God's creations. I recognize that God is life, pure life, the energy that animates everything in this world. The energy that animates things I'm not even aware of. Life. This energy is within us. It is our own life, God's life. As it says somewhere in the textbook or somewhere, there's only one life. That life is God's life, and that life is perfect. And that life is my life right now. And so I accept this as my truth. And I choose today as Valentine's Day, not only as a Valentine for everyone in my experience, but as a Valentine of the highest caliber to my own self. I choose to walk the path of love. This means that I let go. I absolutely let go of any preconceived ideas of what this life is supposed to be like. I let go of all of my past perceptions that have created judgments in me. I just let go and let the love of the divine flow through me. And it feels so good. It feels so good to look out at this world with the eyes of love. It feels so good to see everything that everyone does as acts of love, even though I might want to judge it as something else. I let go. I know that we are working with an infinitely intelligent energy, an unconditionally loving energy that is our life, that is the life force in absolutely everything. And so I trust it. I celebrate it. I acknowledge it absolutely everywhere. And I walk the path of love. And how grateful I am that I am able to do this, that I am able to choose this life of walking in love as love. And so I celebrate myself, I celebrate everyone in our community, I celebrate life itself as it shows up everywhere. And I say, Happy Valentine's Day. I love you. And I release these words into the law, into divine law, knowing that they are already so, and so it is.